Welcome, my friends, to Terra Incognito, Antarctica, 1911. This again done by the awesome folks at Every Single Soldier and Johan Nagel. We've got us a fascinating game in which we're trying to get to the center of the poles before Norway does. Now, of course, we're going to be playing with Robert Scott and Edgar Evans, and we're going to jump right into the game. Now, I have touched upon the tutorial a little bit, so I'm fairly familiar here with what's going on, but most importantly, we have a few things that we need to do. Number one, we need to stay alive. Number two, we need to get to the pole before the Norwegians do. And another very interesting thing about this game is every single map is going to be randomized. We have to cross a massive ice pack to make it to the center of the pole, and of course that ice pack is going to be different every single time. So let's jump in and see what this game has to offer.
Need to get to a tent.
Or that. Now, I want to be really clear here. As fascinating as I find this game and as fun as it is, this game is very much in early access. So you're going to be seeing a few blips, a few issues here and there, and certainly the fleshed out version of this product I think is going to be a lot beefier, but we still have some pretty interesting things to take a look at now. Now, I am a very novice Arctic explorer, so don't expect me to get very far there to the mid-barrier, the lower glacier, the third-degree depot. Those are all pretty out of my reach as I just start the game. And in fact, one good idea, one thing I would suggest for newcomers to the game, is to just try and leave base camp, get a little ways out, and then come back. Go a little ways farther next time, come back, etc. Sort of like you're preparing yourself for a marathon. Trying to go all the way to the center or to the South Pole right away is not something I'd recommend, because you're probably not going to make it unless you get ridiculously lucky with what you find along the way. Alright, my friends, there's our beautiful ship, and before we actually head out into this desolate wasteland, we've got to take some food with us. We've also got to take some fuel with us. You're not necessarily going to have enough money or specifically enough room to fit everything on. Now, ladders are going to be essential in this game to get across this crazy ice pack. We're also going to be bringing 2 tents, and I'm going to go ahead and boost up the food and the ladders, or I should say the fuel a bit. But with me taking all this time to pack my sled, it's actually not a great thing because, you know, we're here waiting to pack this sled, and we're going to be moving a lot slower. Nonetheless, I think this is a fair approach. We'll go ahead and do this, and we shall head out into the icy wastes. Now, a few different things occur with those particular supplies, but most importantly, I believe food keeps you warm, fires make you warmer, tents, of course, allow you to rest, and also keep you warmer out here on the ice pack. And we can also use our binoculars or our telescope to try and take a look and see what's ahead of us on the ice pack. As you can see, we're trying to reach the very end right there. And as we proceed, time is proceeding alongside with us. So we just need to do everything we can to keep our boys alive and hopefully to make it through this terrifying and very icy path. Now, if we want, we can always select the actual button up here, which allows us to go ahead and build a tent camp, plant a flag, etc. We're going to just go ahead and plant a flag right now. And this way, we know how to return. And what I'm going to do is actually return back to base for Explorer 1. It looks like he needs a little bit more food, or perhaps we just get a tent going. But this is one easy way to go ahead and boost that temperature.
Back at base.
Alright, let's go, folks. So, what are we missing? We're okay on food, we're okay on fuel. We might just need to build a tent here. But as you can see, just going back to base has refilled those for us.
Righto.
Now, the other thing is that we are going to be chasing that Norwegian expedition, and you can see they made it to the mid-barrier. We have a very long way to go. And we've got, of course, to control 2 explorers. Let's continue forward, and I'm going to go ahead and use Q to see if I can't determine what's ahead of us.
Let's take a look.
Now, this will give us an eye into the ice pack and let us know if we're going to be able to breach forward or really move forward. But in the meantime, we'll continue proceeding. Yeah, our guys are definitely getting cold, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build a tent.
Roger.
It's one of the few ways to stay alive out here in this cold wasteland, and if it gets especially cold, even this is not a definite way to survive. So there we go, at the tent. We can actually go ahead and spend some time here, get a little warmer. Definitely a good idea, although as you can see, not much warmer here, unless we want to essentially drop off some goods. So let's see if we can't get a fire going, and there we go. That's going to warm us up. And as that fire is going, we're also eating food little by little. And he's already mentioned that he needs some tea. A true Englishman, for sure. Let's just hope that he can keep himself warm for a while here.
Time for some heat.
Alright, beautiful. Get him up, get him warm. Don't leave yet, folks. Alright, beautiful. And it looks like our second explorer, he's doing alright.
Feeling
It
chipper.
probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get him warmed up as well. So let's go ahead.
Need this.
Alright, folks. I think it's time to go ahead and press on ahead.
Nice and toasty.
We've gotten fairly far out here, but it's time for us to keep
Sure enough.
moving and hopefully get to a part of the ice pack that leads to our ultimate destination.
Top of the
Get
world.
my second explorer here as he's
Let's
going to be
get
following. I'm already seeing a lot of ice pack. We're going to have to find a way across this.
Starving.
Let's take a look-see.
All too often, the way across this ice pack is going to be with a ladder, guys. A ladder to pretty much get us from one ice pack to the next one. And things are getting a lot colder here. Also
Feeling
quite hungry.
chipper.
So it might be a time to build yet another tent and also maybe place another flag as we proceed to our next destination. Now, the ice pack is going to change every single day, so it might be awful right now, but tomorrow the ice pack might actually be, you know, more extended, more expanded here, or we might need to take a completely different path. So I'm going to try and build a tent camp
Aye,
here.
aye.
Another tent camp. It would be also a nice idea to set a flag, but the problem is right now we have a lack of food, and you know what that means? Probably means we have to head
Perfect.
back to
Reach
base,
that tent.
back to
At
the
the
main
tent.
base specifically. So what I'm going to do here,
Need this.
get him nice and warm, focus on our second explorer, and even
A little
with that,
chilly, old
it
chap.
might not be
Need to get
sufficient
to
to
a
keep
tent.
him completely warm. We're still going to need quite a bit of food, and as you can see, we are out of food with our first explorer.
Time for
Let's
some
go
heat.
ahead, get as much heat as we can. Now, there are a number of ways to actually get food out here on the ice pack. One of them is fishing. The other one is actually hunting. I'm not sure if we're hunting seals, polar bears, etc., but that's going to be an issue later. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, I am going to try to make it back to camp. This may or may not be possible,
Carry
but
on.
it's what we need to do right now to
Let's
be able
get
to
cracking.
stock up here.
Feeling
We'll do the same
chipper.
here. And it's
Yeah.
very possible that
Sure
on the
enough.
way back, we could freeze to death. Another thing that can happen is on the way back, a crack could appear in the ice, and of course we need a ladder to traverse that crack. But it looks like our explorers on this short journey are actually going to be able to make it out there and make it back home, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to beat the Norwegians. We're going to have to stock back up on goods and head back out into the
Back at
waste.
base.
Although thankfully that tent and that point flag are really
Back at
going to
base.
lead our way into the icy cold wastes. Well, guys, that being
Back
said,
at
I
base.
do hope that you guys enjoy this first look at Terra Incognita 1911. I want you guys to make sure that you know that this is very much a game that is still in alpha. There's a lot of work to be done here, and this is kind of just a first look at the actual game itself and what we can expect, what we can hope for. We didn't even get to the parts of hunting or fishing. We essentially
Terra
just got
Incognito.
a few miles
The race
outside
to
of
the
base,
South
a few
Pole,
days
back on.
outside of base, and did not yet reach the pole. Now, once you actually complete the game, you do get a pole reach with the best recorded times, which I think is just fascinating, really, really cool. And of course, if you want, you can go ahead and change the names of your explorers. It doesn't have to be Edgar Evans or Robert Scott. It could be Agrippa Maxenius. Totally up to you guys. But this is a fascinating game, and I really hope that after this, maybe they even consider doing an Everest game. This whole idea that the game has for getting from one point to the next would work perfectly in an Everest setting with Base Camp 1, Base Camp 2, and Base Camp 3. And believe me, we pretty much got over here just before the 1-ton depot. We had a lot of work to go before we were going to actually get to the South Pole. So you can imagine the extreme difficulty of crossing and traversing this area. Of course, you don't always have to head back to base to resupply. We could have easily continued going, perhaps even found some abandoned sleds and some food on the way, but that's always a risk. In fact, this entire game is one huge risk. Really enjoyed it. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Thanks so much, folks. I'll catch you on the next one.